Thank you for tuning in to part 3 of my video series about driving for Walmart. This video is all about my dear friend Benjamin. This Benjamin. The motivation for this video started when I was working my prior job. I was earning $74,000 per year with 9 paid holidays and home every weekend. 1 week vacation is really only 5 paid days off, plus 9 holidays totals 14 paid days off. I thought I was doing really good. I would hear the advertisements for Walmart drivers earning $87,000 in their first year with 21 paid days off. That's 7 more paid days off in the first year. I didn't even know about the 4 safety days you could also earn, bringing it up to a total of 25 days. I thought to myself, how do they get there? $87,000 as a company driver pulling a dry van and home every week? As I told you on the last video, I'm going to show you how we get there when we look at my last paycheck from 2021 line by line. Before we get lost going into the weeds, looking at a bazillion numbers, I didn't forget about the secret I said I would share in this video. Please stay tuned. Don't fall asleep. There's a lot of information here. By the way, Walmart drivers get paid every 2 weeks on Thursdays. This is a compilation of all 26 paychecks that I received in 2021, my first full calendar year employed as a Walmart truck driver. Hang on, here we go. Spreadsheet I created for the last paycheck of 2021. The first 5 items here are showing 1/10 of ADP. The ADP would be your average daily pay. We scroll down here. On my final paycheck, it was $338.10. If you take 1/10 of that, that would be $33.81. That's so basically the rate of pay on these items up here are $33.81 per hour. Let's go down the totals here. We got 67 there on meetings, training 342, and these numbers are all rounded, by the way. Scheduled time. Now you see 13 hours. That seems like a lot, but actually I remember one of these was for a truck recovery. I rode with another driver up to Tulsa, Oklahoma to pick up a truck at a Peterbilt dealership. So that's actually, I think there was 10 hours that day. The other 3 hours may have been for some other reason. But these items that they're scheduling you for, you got to remember that if you've got something else scheduled that they've planned on you to do, it's taking you away from your mileage and activity pay. And that's how you earn your money. So they're going to pay you an hourly rate for doing things that aren't related to the truck activity. And kind of that's also how your safety day and PTO days work for the hours there. You can see here I had 40 hours for safety days. Well, that was 4 10-hour days. So I earned my 1 per quarter. And that's what the monetary value came out on that. As far as PTO pay, you see it's 131 on the hours. It's not just like 130 hours. You don't have to use a full day of PTO pay. You can use a partial day. For example, let's say you had a day on your go-home day. You only worked 4 hours. And they're like, yeah, we're done with you. And you're like, really? I still got, 6-7 hours left in the day. I'm like, nope, there's no work. Go home. Well, if you want, you can use some of your PTO pay there to make your check whole. To bring your check up to your average daily pay. So my PTO pay, that's how much I redeemed for the year or used and got paid for. Company stock contribution. They do a 15% match on what you put in, and they have a maximum of like 270, I believe, for the year. You see, I'm only showing 203. That's because I was putting in a lower amount at the beginning of the year, and I changed it. I put in $70 now per paycheck, and they match, the 15% match, they put $10.50 in my check, and then they send the 70 and my 10, or they send my 70 and the 1050 off into the stock purchase. So this number should be on this year coming up, should be 270. Safety bonuses, to the best of my knowledge, this is still the same. And as you can see, when you have a safety day up there, you're also going to get paid safety money, as I'll call it, 2 3/4 cents per mile and 50 cents per arrival during that quarter. And that comes out to $31.98. So between the two, we got four. Yeah, it's close to, looks like it's close to $4,500 for the year. It's pretty good. Get into the mileage pay here. These numbers are going to be a lot more common for most drivers, or more familiar, I should say. My mileage pay is 50.5 cents per mile. It got a slight bump when I went over my 1 year mark. Last year I drove 98,000 miles, and this was the base pay, averaging $1,800 a week, closer to $1,900, and almost $400 a day. Weekend mileage pay is a pay differential, pays you 7 cents per mile extra for every mile driven from the first minute of Saturday morning, right after midnight Friday, to the last minute of Sunday evening, just before midnight. I drove 45,000 last year. More than half of my miles were on the weekend. Putting $3,100 in your check. That was my average for the weekend, and this is the average per day. Layovers, $42 a night. Had 192 last year. Putting 8,000 extra in my check. 4 nights per week. The other 3 nights are spent at home in my own bed. Drop-in hooks. Let's cover these here. Really, the hooks and the arrive drops should be I should have paired them together. Generally, if you do an arrive drop, you're going to do a hook. This keeps the trailer pools balanced. But when you get to the terminal and do your first load of the week, you're going to get $850 when you hook a trailer to leave. $722 per year. When I say per year, that was my number from 2021. Averaging 14 a week or 3 per day. When you get to your store, you're going to arrive and drop, you're going to get $1075. 719, as you can see, they're very closely paired because every place you go, you're going to be dropping a trailer and hooking a trailer. Not every time, but for the most part, they really need to keep the trailer pools balanced. So, and you can see they also, this equals this, and they're averaging out to be the same. Arrivals are usually going to be paired with a live load or a live unload. When you arrive, again, arrive and arrive drop both pay $1075, and 138 of them for the year, averaging 3 a week. Additional stops generally will apply to grocery loads. Not a huge amount of money, 1 per week average. Live load and live unload. $11.75. This is going to be the compensation for that stop. But once you go beyond 45 minutes, it will be starting to be paid at the unscheduled time down below here, which is currently $15 per hour. I only had 34 live loads for the year. It's not many for the entire year. Averaging less than one per week. Averaging. Live unload, 107. We did a few more there. And you can see we average 2 per week. Unscheduled time will be breakdown or maintenance time. Generally, when you are at if you got to go to the shop, or if you're having a delay in getting loaded or unloaded, at 45 minutes, that's when that will start for the unloads. Basically, if you have a breakdown, say you're in the yard and you hook on a trailer and it's got some tires that were dragged, or the flap was ripped off, or you got a light, that pay starts immediately for the unscheduled time, and it's $15 per hour. Road closures, breakdown on the road, any delay that was unplanned on that you had no control over. And that was 312 hours for the whole year. $4,300. It averaged 6 hours per week, or 1 hour per day at $15 an hour. Okay, let's get down into the tallies for the year. So for 2021, my average daily pay was $338.10. I worked 243 days, gave me a total of $91,000 and some change, averaging $1,750 a week and $376 a day. Now, you're like, well, why is that $376 not match? Well, if my math is right, the other items up top, like your safety days, your paid time off, your safety bonus, and your company stock contribution are not part of the work you performed to earn, for the company's purpose. So they're not reflected in your ADP, but they're still value that I received. If you take the 91,000 and divide it by the number of miles driven, it puts us at a 93 cent per mile gross pay per mile, based on a little under 1,900 a week and a little under 400 a day for mileage. If you take the 91,000 divided by the hours I worked for the year, it puts us at $28.16 per hour, working 62 hours per week and 12 and a half hours per day. Well, that 91,000 is not bad. Let's go down a little bit further. This number is my real compensation for the year. You say, well, how did you get there, John? Well, this number here, this 5319, I'm going to show you. I did the math farther down here. It comes from the fact that at the end of 2020, I had an unused balance of PTO time of 63 hours. And in 2021, I had an unused balance of 173. That's an increase of 110 hours in my banked paid time off available balance. And if you take the hourly value of that times 110, that puts you at $3,700. The $1,500 here is from the 401k. That doesn't show up on the paycheck because it's going over to your 401k account. That's outside of the taxation of your paycheck. Walmart starts paying you, they start matching you dollar for dollar up to 6% of your pay during the pay period that starts after your 1 year of service. So if you total those two, they come up here to the $53. You can add that to the 91, and that puts you at the 96,687. As a side note, you also have your associate discount card of 10% off of general merchandise and some produce items. I don't have the totals because the computer reset at the beginning of the year, and I forgot to write down that number. So that's pretty much everything there I wanted to discuss about the paycheck, breaking it down line by line. Ooh, that's a whole lot of numbers. How many of you are still with us? I want to remind my fellow drivers that are getting closer to retirement that the Social Security system pays out based on your highest wages earned. If you've been suppressing your income to reduce your tax bill, you might want to consider driving for Walmart to boost your reportable income and thence your retirement income. For the younger drivers out there, paying more taxes may seem counterproductive, but it also means more in your pocket and it allows you to do more of the things you want to do. Okay folks, here it is, the moment you've all been waiting for. If you are even remotely considering a job change, go to driveforwalmart.com and select See All Openings. Do not allow your device to share your location or you may not see any openings, especially if you live in a remote area. When you get there, you're going to see that Walmart is offering sign-on bonuses at select locations up to, get this, $12,000. This is crazy considering that Walmart pays above average to begin with. Also, I have to mention that Walmart is coming out with a revised pay plan before the end of February. Word on the street says they're going to begin regional-based pay scales. That's all I know for now. I'll have to update you as we learn more. I hope the information has been helpful. And again, if you decide to submit a driver application, be sure to include my name and referral number to expedite processing. If you like this content, please subscribe and click the thumbs up button. Stay tuned to part 4 where I'll talk about the equipment, facilities, and parking. Until then, keep the wagon in the mirrors.